of like him and Marge's story every couple of years. So that first started off that it was the late 60s, then it was the 70s, and it was the 80s, and then it's the 90s. Pretty darn soon, they're going to do one, and I'm going to be like, oh, that's my story.
I'm pretty sure they actually have already done one, Danny, where they're like in school in the 90s. So now
they did the grunge era.
I do want to point out, Danny. I actually I'm watching through The Simpsons again, and in the second season they were 34.
No, they weren't.
So I know that they've updated the age, but if we're going based off of that, Danny, you're a little too old for it. So
Jake, that's closer to you.
That is not that far away. Yeah.
Suckers.
It will come.
No, I know.
It will come for you,
I was
Joshua.
thinking, I have my 10-year high school anniversary this year.
Oh, yeah.
And you have your 20. But
I do.
I feel like that was yesterday.
High school?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. These past couple years have just blink and it's gone.
See, I had that for a moment into my 20s, but now it's, I don't know. I always feel like I'm in limbo.
I'm on the other side where I am
old.
I have had so much old, exactly. I've had so much life experience beyond high school. I think that high school does not mean to me as much as it once did.
Danny, you've lived more time out of high school than you did up to high school.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So it just to me, it's just kind of,
It is pretty crazy. Because like when you're in your early 20s, I feel like that's discussed a lot because then, you know, college and stuff. Well, you have high school and then you go into college and then you have all the college stuff. But I feel like between like, I don't know, 26 and like 40, it's kind of that forgotten era where you're just kind of
surviving.
Yeah, you're there.
And then you're old.
And then you get to the crisis, the whatever they call it, the midlife crisis.
You get to the protected age.
Hey, 2 years, baby.
I can't make fun of you. We only have 2 years left to make fun of Danny's age.
And then after that, I am constitutionally protected.
That's just stupid.
Well, not constitutional.
I'll have to find ways around to make fun of you.
Harassment.
Sue you to pieces.
Dang.
I'll sue you. Hey, should we get started?
No.
Too bad. Welcome to the Twaddling Long podcast, everybody. We're back. We have been off for a week, and we are back this week with history. And the chooser of the history this week is one Jacob McBride, and it's his favorite.
Oh, my
It's
favorite.
his favorite thing
I'm
to
so
do.
happy to be here right now.
So, Jake, what are we talking about?
We are going to talk about something amazing.
You didn't even introduce us. How dare you?
I didn't. To my left is, what's her name? Josh.
Oh, no. I can't remember.
My co-host, Josh.
Hi.
I'm Danny. Hi.
And you already know, Jake.
You know what was sad?
What?
I said, I'm Danny, and then I waited for myself to say something.
Hi, I'm Danny.
It was one of those things like I forgot what I was doing.
You have to switch to the other persona.
Yeah, seriously. And then to my right is Jacob.
Hi, I'm Jake.
Hi, Jake.
I'd just like to point out that it was Josh, Danny, and then Jake's full name.
Jacob.
Then Jacob.
We've got to be more formal because this week he's going to teach us stuff.
I'm Jacob,
You're
and I have
gonna
to do history.
teach us stuff.
Professor Jacob.
For those of you first tuning in, Jake does not like history. I
And
like
why is that,
history
Jake?
to a point, but I just...
Let's explore this for a second. Before we get introduced into this historical subject.
Before we get into the historical subject, let's talk about history.
Let's talk a little bit about history. No, I want to know, why don't you like history?
I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's just not as exciting to me.
I see.
I used to be. Like in high school, I loved it. But then I got in college, I just kind of fell out of it because I took some history classes and the professors just made it so dull.
Is that what it was?
It really was. I mean, when I first got into college, I took a class, and I think if I remember right, it was from pre-colonial America up to the American Civil War. I think is what the time frame was
So
for
covering the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, so it was going through all
War
of
of
that.
1812.
Yeah, and going through that and everything. And the professor would always just stand in front of class, and then he would start, giving knowledge. And there's some really cool and fascinating stuff with American history. But then he would start talking, and then he'd be like, and then they what? They what? And the problem is
I don't know, what did they do?
well, that's just it. It's like someone raise his hand and be like, well, according to the book, they did this. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. So they did what?
Oh,
and then he would just sit, and so he would look for such a specific answer that he wouldn't find it, and then he would finally share it.
And you're like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever
And
heard.
it was just and it was just one of those things that it just drove me
I
crazy.
was looking for the word Shoshone.
Yeah.
Shoshone.
So at that point, I took some other fun classes. I mean, I was in the psych program early on, and I went and got a degree in that, and I loved that. But I also did like the history of religion. That I really like.
Very
I like the
interesting.
history.
I like that,
I mean,
sure.
you have to be so careful, which is why we probably haven't talked about it
Yes.
because there's so many.
And we probably
things.
won't.
So,
Yeah.
but
Because we don't want to get canceled.
yeah, you just gotta be so careful. But that's the reason why. So since then, I mean, I do enjoy talking to you guys about it, mostly to make fun of things.
I see.
But beyond that,
Do you have a section of history that you say, I'm more interested in this compared to other places?
ooh, that's a good question.
What did you just say?
It's a good question.
Question.
He's a goose
It's a good question. Oh, it's a good question.
I had a partial stroke and they made fun of me.
Oh,
He reverted back to his zeros.
Let's see. I was always a fan of the Middle Ages.
ooh,
There was a lot of Middle Ages. I've grown to like also some of the Greek history and stuff, but I've also become a little bit more fascinated with some of the history that we don't get to talk about a lot, just because a lot of the time you're focusing on your ancestors and stuff like that. But I mean, like the Middle Eastern history and even some of the Asian history
Middle
is
Eastern-
super fascinating.
We need to talk about Middle East at
mean,
some point.
yeah, I
They
would
were
love to do, like-
technologically way superior.
The Arabian Renaissance would be really fun to
Well,
talk
they had these
about,
incredible epics that were like, when you actually read them, it's like, wow, this seems like a fantasy book, but it's like, no, this is
Like
actual
Gilgamesh,
history.
the Epic of Gilgamesh is awesome.
So I mean, that
Interesting.
stuff is really fascinating to me in some cases. Doesn't mean I'll be excited to talk about it. Probably not. But,
See, and Jake, I'm the exact opposite. I live for history. I had awesome history teachers. My high school, shout out to Mrs. Murray, OG.
See, and I had Mrs. Murray too, which is why I liked it.
She was awesome. She's retired now.
Good
but
for her.
She is retired. Do you know that I saved Josh?
You did.
From
I was such a goody-good in school that, especially in her class, that Josh...
She knew me
She
before I even took her class.
yeah, she knew by the name. But then Josh forgot to turn in something.
And then she's like, "You're not Jake's brother. You're Danny's."
I don't think I ever had Miss Murray.
No, she came in after. No, I had Miss Murray, and then I had a college professor who was the devil's advocate of history. Now, for all of you who know me, I hate devil's advocates. But this history chapel,
How can you be a devil's advocate for history?
because he would share both sides of the coin.
Oh, I'm actually reading. So there's a book that I'm reading right now that is called "Lies My Teacher Told Me." That's literally. I mean, that's the entirety of the book. Is
Well, as we're going through this and a lot of the things that go with it, especially history, it's amazing how little we actually knew from school. Like, because we'd get told all sorts of stuff, which, I mean, the history is written by the winners, which we always talk about, but then you have a lot of other stuff that happens, or you have other stuff where it's like recently it's like, oh yeah, that didn't actually happen.
yeah. That's my favorite thing is that we I think we fall a little too carefully into folklore and hero worship, especially with what we're going to be talking about today. And then like when you actually start reading about these people, you're like,
oh man.
no.
They
no.
weren't as good as I thought they were.
Yeah, I will say this.
This
I
isn't
did
good at all.
I did a presentation on one of the people that we may talk about back in elementary school, and I thought he was awesome because I read Wikipedia. I did some more research for this podcast, and
Wikipedia.
holy Moses.
So,
Not an idol anymore. He's
which
more like
brings us
burning idol of death.
to what are we talking about today, Jake?
So I'm going to preface this.
Oh, I like this.
Preface.
I tried something new. So I've been utilizing Gemini just for random things. I have it like write stories for me when I'm bored. And I also use it to like bounce ideas off and stuff like that. Well, I got a bunch of this history, and I decided just to copy it in Gemini, and I said, put this in a layout for podcast for me.
I see. So we're cheating.
So I'm cheating. Yeah. But I did one thing I wanted. I said, I was like, please also include questions I could ask my co-hosts that are kind of humorous, but also could lead to the discussion.
I like it.
So I'm going to see what happens.
Ooh, I'm scared.
But hello and welcome to the show. Today, we're diving in deep into the American frontier to talk about a group of individuals as rugged and wild as the landscape they explored.
Oh,
totally
I
AI.
hate AI writing.
And you know what's funny? That sounds like every college paper I've ever reviewed.
No. No.
You know,
The college paper would be they were rugged and beastly, and then every adjective you could add.
It's funny that you say that, Josh, because the other day I was reading your texts. And for people that don't know, Josh is a sunny individual when he texts.
I use at least 6 exclamation
marks. There are
marks.
many exclamation marks. There's smiley faces all around. And I went, oh my gosh, my brother's an AI.
He is.
You're just
I was raised in the AI generation. I will say I have never used AI for college.
Good for you.
I didn't.
I'm the only one in my generation.
Because it wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Now I'm sad.
I mean, it came at the very tail end of my master's program, which only lasted 3 months. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah. No, no.
Sorry. Continue,
yes.
Jake.
So, as rugged, beastly, and extraordinary as the frontier that they explored, they are the Mormons. Just kidding. The Mountain Men.
The Mormons.
The Mountain Men of the Frontier.
No, Front of Men. So,
Hey,
what?
it's Mountain Men. We're from Utah, people. Don't pronounce the T.
Mountain.
Did I say the T?
You did. You
That's
said
probably
mountain.
because my Canadian.
Well, I would know. I'll tell you who used to get so mad at me when I used to like skip T's. Grandma
Grandma who?
Grandma Minson. Oh my gosh.
Really?
You pronounced
Mountain.
it correctly. Mountain.
She left me and Josh Moore.
Leighton.
No, do you know what's funny?
That's probably
It's
true.
probably because I didn't talk.
Oh. All right.
The end.
Does anybody actually believe that Josh never talked?
There was a time.
Let's take a poll.
Let's say
If you think I didn't talk, send an email to emails at
in the
twaddling.
comment, is Josh a liar?
Let's be honest. Most of our family listen to this. They all know that's bull crap.
That's what I'm saying.
See, now, myself, I don't know if I was much of a talker during those situations because I usually like playing my Game Boy.
That's true.
And I played my Game Boy all the time, which explains my personality.
I went out and stole tools from Grandpa's shed and then became this action hero in the backyard.
Oh, I say we used to go out and steal the old sharp darts that are illegal now.
Yeah.
And just throw them in the
Yeah, or you would get like the croquet balls that are like 3.5 tons and
Yeah.
made out of clay, and you'd chuck them at each other.
Yeah, he hit them really hard and see what happens as they go into Grandpa's flowers and he's cussing you. I don't know.
My flowers, Dad.
Or the freaking weeds. Don't step on the weeds. Dude.
As you're just stepping on the grass. Oh, sorry.
Anyway, Mountain Men.
Oh, dang, you guys keep getting me back. Stop it. Okay. One thing I found really interesting is for some reason I viewed the Mountain Men like time period as something like from maybe the latter 1700s to like almost the 1900s.
Really?
It was actually really short.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was surprisingly short.
So
yeah.
it's only from the 1820s to the 1840s. And one of the main drivers for this, like at the time I thought it was mostly exploration, but no, the main driver for it was trapping.
Yep.
Trapping and trading. I mean, they did use the opportunity to like explore, and because of that, they became the trailblazers that helped kind of future pioneers get to where they needed to be. But it's one of those that like when you hear their stories, you just go, oh my gosh, these guys had crazy lives. Now, this is where we talk about how much of it was true. I'd be very curious. We might never know. But if we go to the other side and I get to meet one of these, I would be like, hey, what really happened? I mean, like,
Did they crap in the woods when they saw a bear? Or did they actually stand up like men?
I mean, because we'll have
Probably
to.
crap in the woods.
I don't know if we'll be able to talk about some of them, but I mean, like some of the more prominent ones that, you know, Jim Bridger, Hugh Glass, like they had some pretty crazy experiences. But because of that, I think as we talked about the folklore and the myth of them, is like we just view it as they lived like just unimaginably perilous lives.
Rough life, yeah.
Yeah.
They were living by themselves most of the time.
Yeah,
out
and
in
you're
the middle
out there,
of nowhere.
and you have potential hostile Native Americans that are there that don't know who you are. Which, I mean, honestly, we talked about Bigfoot. I mean, maybe they might have been a little confused seeing some of these hairy white men coming out there and everything. It's Bigfoot. Hey, I'm not that big.
No, he had a New York accent.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Bigfoot, yo.
Where are the beavers?
Or from the South. Hey there, old sonny.
Wait a minute. That hey there sounded a little Canadian.
Hey there. Hey.
Or more
Hey
like
there.
or more from like the Midwest, like
Yeah.
it's a Wisconsin. Hey, don't you know?
Hey, don't you know that you need to go? No, I don't know where that was going. I'm just
your
gonna stop.
accents just keep going and going and going.
I'm going to stop there.
So,
Y'all seen any beaver?
Hey, y'all.
they're hairy, a little hairy, and they're just kind of squandering apart.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. So, what drove them into the uncharted wilderness filled with grizzly bears, hostile tribes, and brutal winters? That's one of the questions they wanted me to ask you guys.
Money.
Loneliness.
Loneliness.
I bet they were introverts who hated people and just wanted to get away. That's this year's podcast.
You know something?
Not this year.
Living in this world right now makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If I could just run into the woods, strip naked, yell a lot, I think that I probably would.
That's true. Me too. But I'll bring this up. I think the reason why is the first quote unquote, you could classify them as mountain men, and I said it correctly, mountain man.
Mountain man.
But also just, like trailblazers, explorers. Lewis and Clark came back with some wild stories.
Yeah.
And that probably excited a lot of people. I mean, if you look at the timeline, Lewis and Clark were just after the turn of the century in the 1800s. It was not a decade or so later that people started being like, well, let's go out there and find him, whatever. And so it was probably just curiosity.
I'm going to nerd out real bad here for a second.
Do it.
I apologize, everybody. The reason that I seem to remember, and maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, it's because of fashion.
Yes.
Like the reality was just that everybody liked beaver felt pats or beaver. Hold on, everybody.
Beaver felt hats.
Everybody,
say that 3 times fast.
everybody, calm down. Beaver felt hats,
Haha.
and it also was just because they were easy to actually felt.
Yep.
Like compared to other like pelts and everything, they were just easier to felt. And I meant felt in this term.
I just love the word felt.
I like to
I
felt
could just
that.
imagine some guy in New York just petting the beaver.
This is gonna
skins.
make a nice hat. That's good. Beaver felt.
Did you feel that hat? I did. All right. I'll buy it.
No, it was mostly European. So like we think of these guys as these rugged outdoorsmen going killing beavers, but the only reason they were doing it is so the dandies back in England.
Oh, greatness. I need a cup.
Where's my hat?
Well, the
I need
one
a good
person
hat.
who was known for wearing a beaver hat was one of the founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin. He wore a beaver hat all the freaking
Did he really?
time.
I
Yes.
had no idea.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, he did.
I know
All
there's
the pictures make him look bald.
there's one called a Wellington, if I remember. That was like the style, which is like the quintessential top hat. Like if you think of a top hat,
It's a Wellington.
let's see. The Wellington from 1820 to 1840. That was like considered the hat of the time, and that's what drove pretty much to the extinction of an animal. Because everybody's like, I need a good hat.
But because of this, the beaver pelts prices and demand were astronomical. So I mean, you could go out and get a few beaver pelts and be set.
Yeah, how much
So-
do we know? Can we look up to see how much a beaver pelt was worth? Let's say 1830. Let's put it.
Hold on. The cost of a beaver pelt in the 1800s was endangered. What?
I don't know that kind of
Well,
currency.
here's what
Google coming
popped
to
up.
the rescue.
Here's what popped up. So once I did that, it just popped up an eBay listing for an antique woman's full-length beaver coat.
Oh,
And it
wow.
said, and
How much is it?
It literally said, "This is from the endangered beaver. Buyer beware." I don't know what that means. It's like a threat. It's like,
you're gonna buy it and then you're gonna have PETA show up at your door tomorrow.
who do you think?
What
you
are you doing?
What do you think?
So I just looked it up. It's $5.
$5 per pelt?
$5 per pelt.
Are
how
you
much-
sure that's not like nowadays?
Nope, that's $5 per pelt in 1830.
Well, how much was $5 back then?
I'm looking up.
That
Let's
can't
see.
be right. There's no way.
So a beaver pelt, $5 in 1830 is about $175 today.
Oh.
So you catch, a family of beavers. You make a month's wage.
Oh, more than a month's wage at that point. That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
I think you could buy like an 80-acre farm for like $100.
Well, the thing is, and that's what I was going to bring up. In all honesty, a lot of this reason for moving west was manifest destiny, which is an American term that we believe that God has created this wonderful country for the object of white settling.
Good for us.
Yes. And so a lot of it was they wanted to get ahead of the game. And at the time, there were laws that, hey, if you stake your claim, you didn't have to pay for it. You just had to go out and get there before anyone else. So
Can we just do that now? Can I just go to some random place?
Can you imagine?
I would go to like the nearest Texas Roadhouse. I just put a stake in there
I
and be
declare
like, "You
this
are
for me.
you are all under me now. Everything in here goes to me."
If I remember right, you had to improve the land was
Yes.
one of the things that
Yep.
they said. So you staked your claim, and then you had to do some work that would improve the land. So you
But
either had to clear
I
and
would
build a
clean
fencing,
the tables.
Improved. No, but if you look at, there's some old pictures or paintings or whatever that they would literally have a start line that they draw on the ground with a bunch of wagons and people behind it. And then they would say go, and it was literally all heck break loose. First one to get to the land they wanted.
Mine.
See in the
mine.
on your mark, get set. He just shot all the horses. I win.
Seriously. So yeah, people fought for lands, but mountain men kind of just went further than a lot of people
Well, I
did.
also think it was just the idea of the egalitarian, rugged outdoorsman was a really big
Yeah.
thing. You read Emerson, you read any of the things back then. I mean, it was the idea of making your way into the land and the land will provide, I think, was also a huge determination in people just going out and trying to make a living by fur trapping and doing other things. So,
And there you go. And that's all we wanted to talk about.
dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
But if you imagine, I like to point myself in a mountain man scenario. That means you would go out and you would literally have to kill your food every day.
Yeah.
And
They didn't
potentially
farm-
hide from disastrous
Circumstances. And
Yeah.
the thing
Every day.
is the population of animals that could kill humans, such as grizzly bears, bison, different
Mountain
things like that,
cats.
were way higher back in the day. And
Sure.
so the risk was big time a lot more.
I could just imagine Josh going out and having a fist fight with a grizzly bear.
One of the things, though,
Hey, want to fight?
I'm gonna get you. One of the things, though, is that we always considered them to be like a solo operation, and I didn't realize that they weren't. I mean, you would go out in like a whole company, like there would be like 30 men that would go out, and you'd have like a cook that would come along with you, and
Yeah.
you'd have
You'd
a
create a
minister
little
that would
town.
come along with you, and you'd have a little town, and y'all would go out and
Well, you had the two big fur companies at the time was the American Fur Company, and then you had the British-owned Northwest Fur Company.
Yeah, no
and so
way.
I mean, and so they are these big companies that are going out.
That have a lot of money.
And I mean, I listened to some of the stories of like the Mountain Men, and like the Mountain Men, they were a large group of mountain men.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, they were together. Now, when you put a bunch of men together, they usually get in trouble. Yes, that's probably the case because there was a few stories I heard that they almost acted like teenagers.
Lots of drinking.
And do you know what's funny is if you really think about it, I think this is where the starts of the Wild West came from, because you had settlers, mountain men, come out with a group of people, establish this little community, and there were no laws. There was no police enforcement. It was just make money or die kind of situation. And so they wrote their own rules out there. And so they became rugged, crazy folk.
Well, and the other thing I think is, just like cowboys, mountain men have kind of become whitewashed.
Yes.
We talk about the white mountain men. That's what when you picture like the Jim Bridger, you picture the Hugh Glass, you picture the white guy. But this was also a job that black people could do.
Yeah, freed
This was
slaves.
a job that
They had some Hispanics.
a lot of Hispanics, or like the people that were from white and indigenous, a lot of indigenous people. And so you had this kind of system where people could actually make a living and make money, who in a traditional town, a traditional city, were kind of pushed to the outskirts of society. And so, it was kind of a grand equalizer of the time.
And the other thing that I'd point out is they were educated as well.
Some were.
But a lot of the times the names that we know, they were quite intelligent in the sense that they had knowledge to make them successful.
Yeah.
They weren't just going out there like not knowing what they were going to do, So.
And it's really interesting.
It is really interesting.
That's all I have to say about that. Now,
Mountain Men.
we'll keep to now. It says here from some of the stuff that it really was an enterprising expedition for the young men at the time.
Yeah,
because it's like, okay, hey, this is a quick way to get money.
Sure.
And so here you have a bunch of these younger guys going out there. A lot of them. I'm trying to remember Jedediah Smith, who was one of I guess is a major player in this.
Sure.
He was actually really young, going out there and doing all stuff. He made a pretty major name for himself. He was killed when he was 31, I think.
Yeah.
But here he has all this early time doing that. And so they're just kind of, it's interesting that a lot of younger people, Jim Bridger started out pretty young too.
Yeah.
I think in the Hugh Glass books, he's kind of depicted as being
a late teen.
Well, yeah, the youngin of the group,
Yeah.
Who, Jim?
Yeah.
Well,
he was born in the early 1800s.
Yep,
right?
1804, and if it was popular in 1820 to 40.
So he was 16.
Yeah.
So they just they went out and about. Now, you guys are hunters.
Y'all.
So you guys probably understand this more. What is so exciting about going outside?
Before we do that, Jim Bridger was 19 during the Hugh Glass ordeal.
There you go.
What's exciting?
What's so exciting? I guess not just going in the woods, but what's exciting about kind of being adventurous?
I think we've talked about this a little bit, me and Josh, but when you are hunting, everything is dialed up to 11. Yeah. So every sense that you have is dialed to 11, especially when you're by yourself. I know when me and Josh went bow hunting the one time, we were...
Yeah, we should clarify.
We've only been hunting a handful of times. Yeah. So I wouldn't consider us big time hunters, but we've gone hunting. But when you're sitting on a hill, every sense that you have, literally every sense that you have, is dialed in for just seeking out something. And so there is an excitement about that. I don't know how to explain it, but there's almost this primordial urge that you're doing something that you're meant to do.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say is I feel like when you get out there, you unlock things in your soul, your body that evolutionary wise we would have been doing for however long. And I feel like it was just you attuned to nature a little bit more, and it's just okay, this is what I was made
You feel
to do.
alive. That term is used a lot, you feel so alive. And it's a really hard thing to explain, but there is this sense of, I am a living thing that is hunting another living thing. And I am out there doing something, like Josh said, that evolutionarily speaking, I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I am.
Quite the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is the prep work that goes in, the practice of, shooting or prepping an animal, anything.
Say Josh's prep is being on Amazon going, yes. Yes.
That's true. But like all that prep work gets you so excited to go out and like finish the job. Now, have I ever shot anything? No. And I've gone out, like I said, a handful of times, but it's the prep work and going out and just like, okay, I've prepped for this. Now I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
Where, for example, the first time that I went out hunting with Danny, we were hunting elk. We saw an elk. I was going to try to get to a point where I could shoot it broadside. So from the side, I outpaced the elk because my adrenaline was going so crazy.
Josh was literally running through the woods. And what's weird is like, Josh is not a quiet person by any means.
I'm not quiet.
But Josh was moving quietly.
Yeah, not making a sound. And then I stopped because I was like, okay, I've been going for a second, looking for this. And I stepped on a branch and the elk was behind me. It was basically stalking me at that point. I had outpaced it. And so like the adrenaline gets going. It's, I don't know. There's something about it.
Oh,
I think that there's also like, you are influenced by the stories that you hear when you're a kid. And so I think I was even cognizant of like, oh, I am a frontiersman. Like I am the pioneer. I am the mountain man. I am the cowboy. This is my adventure. This is my time to write my own story.
Yeah, 100%.
So there you go.
I mean, we grew up with stories of our uncle going hunting, uncles, our dad going once with our uncles, and it turned into a crazy blizzard storm.
Well, and Dad went hunting all the time also.
Yeah, when he was
Grandpa
young.
went hunting. I mean, there's so.
And so it's...
And Jake didn't get the bug. You want to know why?
Woods.
Jurassic Park.
You don't want to be a Muldoon?
I was seriously that movie affected me so that guy literally when I think of a hunter,
Clever girl.
yeah,
The Muldoon.
because for me he was so cool.
He was cool.
As a kid, I was like, oh man, he's so cool. And then when he got mauled at the end, I was like,
Heroic
I
death.
don't want to go out.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing. I'm one of those. I don't know if you guys have seen the memes where it was like girls want to go out just like laying in bed, pass away in their sleep. I'm like, put me on a battlefield with a sword and running into, die out heroically. I'll go to Valhalla, whatever.
I want to be eating some good barbecue.
Choke on the bone. Anyway.
Well, that's more.
And I don't know if the Mountain Men felt the same way. I'm sure they had their childhood stories and they were trying to emulate something and they saw it as kind of a way to win their glory. I also think it was just kind of a matter of survival. Like, yeah, I got to go out,
You got to do something. Well, I think it was one of those that the challenge was like where you guys go out and you're hunting something. Can you imagine the adrenaline of be like, I'm hunting something while I'm being hunted?
Yeah. Well, and
that's the difference.
If I don't succeed, see, me and Josh's we had no.
I had ramen.
Yeah,
for heck's sake.
we could have failed and it would have been fine. But
I mean, for heck's sake, Danny fell asleep on the mountain.
I did. It was awesome. It was so
While we
comfortable.
were
It was
hunting.
delightful. But like there, I have to succeed because if I don't succeed, then I get nothing. That's a pretty powerful.
Have you guys
motivator.
ever watched the show Alone?
I have. I love Alone.
Alone, if you think about it, is exactly what they did.
Yeah.
For us, it's a reality TV show. How long can they last?
No reality TV. We talked about this.
Yep. But for them back in the day, that was just life.
Yeah.
That's exactly how they did it. And it wasn't, I just need to starve myself out for, 30 days.
It was, I got to eat.
I have to eat to have enough calories to go hunt again and to provide myself.
I still have no idea how mankind made it as far as we are. It blows
God's
my
grace.
mind. That really is what I feel. Because man, there were just too many things. If I had lived even a century sooner, I don't think I would have made it.
That puts you in the 1920s. Jake.
Roaring 20s.
I would have. Jake's going out. Prohibition. That's it. I'm done. I'm out of here.
I would have made some snarky comment to a mobster and been shot.
I'm with you though. I mean, we're terribly privileged to live in the time
Jake
that
sees
we
Al
are.
Capone. What's that scar?
It would have been one of those things, or I would have drunk out of water and I would have gotten sick.
I got typhus.
Diarrhea.
Hey, Jake, don't touch that person. What person? Oh, the person with yellow fever. Oh, dead. Okay. So, I guess we can basically say, to sum this all up,
Well, don't do any summing right now because we've still got a little bit of time there, Jake.
that the entirety of the exploration of the West was basically driven by a need for felt hats.
Yes.
Honestly.
So if it weren't for the felt hats, we probably wouldn't be living in Utah.
Ooh.
That is true.
That's an interesting connection.
Yeah. Because you got to think, I mean, we are descendants of the beloved Mormon pioneers, and they had some insight. I mean, maybe they would have come out here anyway, but I mean, there were some pathways that they followed.
Mm-hmm. Jim Bridger actually gave them advice not to settle in Utah.
That they completely ignored.
Yeah, that they completely ignored, but he did tell them and gave them maps that were of the area.
I think that the idea that the West even was able to be civilized beyond the 1830s, 1840s had a lot to do with the Mountain Men. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that just the idea that there were people out there that had some working knowledge that there was something out there, it drove people to those places. You know, I mean, even Kansas City. I know Kansas City, they literally say Kansas City was established on the backs of the Mountain Men.
Yeah.
So,
and here's the interesting thing. If you look at history, because I like history, Jake, when the colonists first arrived in the United States, they made it to the mountains, stopped for a while.
Appalachians.
And then they once the Louisiana Purchase happened, they went over the mountains and
they didn't
settled.
go very far.
No, they didn't.
They
They went to the Mississippi River, stopped, and then, we're going to start going again. Then they got to the Rockies, stopped, and then they made it to the ocean. These barriers were in place, and so it was literally, it took people to, which canyon makes it all the way through? How do you get over this river? Let's do it. These daredevil mountain men were the ones who paved the way for that expansion.
And it's always funny to me because of what was considered the frontier at different parts of our existence. So when our country was first all set up, they considered Pennsylvania to be the frontier. Like George Washington
Still is.
George Washington literally talks about like pulling the frontier riflemen in from Pennsylvania to battle the British. So, you know, Pennsylvania, which even though my brothers think is the wilderness, it's Pennsylvania.
Oh, I don't think so. They're
It's
freaking
Pittsburgh.
Steeltown,
Yeah,
man.
I was going to say it's so settled that it's ridiculous.
There's so many museums.
But it was the frontiersmen. And it wasn't until the Louisiana Purchase during the time of Jefferson that people even thought to go beyond. And I always, we talk about manifest destiny, but the reality is like, if we didn't have some very adventurous people, we wouldn't have gotten all that far. We'd still be back in the 13 colonies and probably be pretty darn content with life.
And here's the other thing. The French said, there's nothing out there.
The French were
The
just
Spanish,
like, no, you
once
stay
we
away.
got to the Mississippi, the Spanish were like, there's nothing out there either.
It's desert. We tried. We have a couple
We have
Catholic
California.
parishes.
We got California. There might be gold there, but nothing else in between.
Yeah.
So,
And now look at us. Still
sea
desert.
to
Yeah.
shining the sea.
this land is your land. This land is my
The AI
land.
wanted me to ask you a question.
Oh, okay. Ask us a
Thanks,
question.
AI.
Can you imagine if a modern fashion trend like Crocs required a rare, dangerous animal pelt?
Oh, that would be awesome. What would
That is
What-
interesting.
what a
would
new-
it be? Crocs
Say,
itself?
would a new generation
Crocodile?
of explorers brave the Amazon for rubber shoe crocodiles?
No. We're
That's
too
an
lazy.
interesting question. Are we willing to do something dangerous nowadays for trend? And I'll preface this and say yes. Because
you think yes?
yes, because TikTok is basically that. What are they striving for? Fame, fortune?
Oh, and they're going out
And
of their
so
way to
what
do
do they do?
pranks and
They're
crazy
eating
things.
stupid Tide Pods.
That's true. Huh? Well,
So they're kind of doing that. Well, I look at some.
wait a minute. So the mountain men are compared to the Tide Pod eaters? Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Breaking. Breaking news, everyone.
The influencer trends that are just so outrageous.
Modern day influencers are the mountain men's of nowadays.
And they're the ones that are dying.
No, but the thing is you have people who do that, but then there's the people who wrote about it, and that's Mark Twain. Yeah.
Like good old twit.
Well, I want to explore this just a little bit because it actually is a very interesting question.
Good job, AI.
Thank you.
Is the modern day, let's say the desire to follow a trend, or is it to be adventurous for adventure's sake? Because you do have people like what do they call them? Van nomads. I think that's what they're called.
Oh, the people just driving around
van life people, like people that their entire life is to document themselves going to adventurous places and doing things. So,
but I don't think they necessarily are out there to do dangerous things.
But I mean, the commodity itself, they're not selling a product like they would with the felt hats, but the commodity, they are selling themselves. And so I would actually say that, people would do that.
Yep. Sorry. I had a moment of just immaturity, so it's okay.
Go ahead and calm down there, Joshua.
Prostitution. But no,
would they do it for Crocs? No, but would they do it for likes? Yeah, maybe. Probably.
And that's a very interesting
Give
question.
Jim Bridger a iPhone. He'd be like, "It's your boy,
Jim Bridger going down the Snake River. What's up?
Hey guys,
holla.
Hugh Glass doesn't look like he's gonna make it. Should I leave him? Give me a like.
Let's put a poll out: yes or no, or is he crazy?" Isn't that crazy? I read something the other day, and this deals with something totally different. But are people today really aware of what war is and the effects of war on people? So people who want to start revolutions and everything, because we're all about protests and trying to start something, are our people really understanding of what that actually means? I don't think so.
I think that could be something we talk about human condition.
I was going to say, because I would love to do that.
I've heard, like lately, for whatever reason, my YouTube gods have decided to bestow upon me the
almighty algorithm.
Yeah.
The almighty conservative.
All these videos about these veterans talking with other veterans about their experiences. Yeah. And you have no idea.
No.
It's like one of those things where I watch them and I go, holy crap, that's not what you hear about at all.
And that's the thing is, we protest every war there is. And war is a horrible thing. I'm not, putting it on a pedestal. But war also makes things happen sometimes.
Sure.
But are we that society that's willing to go that far?
I don't know. There's always been that
lazier.
I don't want to say that joke because it's not a joke, but it's almost a meme at this point of war would cease to happen if powerful people's children had to serve if they voted for it. You know, if everybody in Congress had to send one of their family members to war, there would never ever be any war. Mm-hmm. And you start to think, I don't know if that's still the case, because I think that people have become so desensitized. War is something that happens over there. Mm-hmm. It happens away from us. And I going back to kind of the Mountain Men thing, I can't help but wonder if it was kind of the same way. The felt hat and the cost of the felt hat wasn't just the $5 that the Mountain Men made. It was their livelihood. It was, in a lot of cases, their death.
Yeah,
it was. And do you think that a dandy in Paris gave two hoots about the actual human cost of the hat? Probably not.
Should I get a brown one or a black one?
Yeah, exactly.
I know. It's like going to the grocery store today, and you go and get some eggs or go and get some meat, and you go, do you care about the
butcher, the
farmer that put effort into it?
No, even the animal.
Even. I say you only care about it when something happens.
Exactly.
When egg prices suddenly go up 4 times as much as like, oh my gosh, I suddenly care about the chickens' lives.
And so, these Mountain Men were they sent out basically just as an adventure, but ended up realizing, holy crap, this is life real. Sucks.
Yeah, it stunk.
Do you guys like that I've changed this from history to more of the human condition?
It does go well with it.
Anyway, so A group of businessmen known as the Taos Trappers ranged deep into the Utah and Colorado area.
Mm-hmm.
So amongst them was a very famous person, Etienne Provost.
Yes.
Who Provost named after. I did not know that.
No idea.
Yep,
I did not know that.
He was actually friendly with the quote-unquote Mormon pioneers, and that's why they named it Provo.
I had no idea.
I didn't know that either. That was
The reason is because, and you wouldn't know this today, but a lot of the Provo area had a lot of streams and things.
Oh yeah, it was
attracting beavers because of the Utah Lake, and so Provost had a lot of his industry was in that area.
Yeah, I know. The Provo River used to be like the Provo River Delta was a huge wildlife area, and we kind of wanted to build ore, which
you build BYU.
Yeah. So we kind of changed everything.
Josh has feelings about BYU. So I mean, this is all happening. There's one of the things that happened though on the east side is that they had a single newspaper ad that went out. This was ran by two individuals, William H. Ashley in 1822 and Andrew Henry. This was run in St. Louis, and the newspaper article was called Enterprising Young Men.
And at the time, I'll point out that was the edge of civilization.
Yeah, St. Louis was the edge of civilization.
The archway was built
because it was considered the gateway to the West. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So here they are. They're putting this out, and they're saying, "Hey, we're calling for enterprising young men to ascend to the Missouri River and beyond."
Mm-hmm.
And this is where a lot of people were attracted. And some of these were Jedediah Smith, Jim Bridger, James Becksworth. Which I mean, if we'll probably have to at some point actually go deeper into these
the
people's
individuals,
life,
it would be very interesting.
Jim Bridger he was probably one of the longest lived of them because a lot of them died at young ages. Where Jim Bridger lived to like his 70s.
Yeah, but Becksworth was a freed slave. That was an opportunity for him to make a life.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's just it. They weren't just trappers. I mean, they were just resourceful individuals that went, oh, sure, we'll go do it.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Danny, you almost have a teenager.
I do.
Coming soon. How about, a few years he's about to drive and you're like, hey, go live by yourself in the woods with some other people your age and good luck. I won't talk to you again.
I barely let him walk to a friend's house a couple houses
exactly.
away.
Isn't that crazy?
We're in a different realm right now. Well, the disastrous start they had shortly after. I mean, they had an expedition. They went up to Missouri. Within the first little bit, they had dozens of their men, or a dozen men killed by the Native Americans at the time. I think it was the Arikara tribe that was nearby. And so this was one of those things that they encounter pretty often. I mean, like you went out, and of course, I mean, you have these Native American tribes that have staked the land for their own. This is our
they've been there for a long time.
This is where we are, and then you have these people coming in going,
I'm gonna kill me a beaver.
Kill your animals if you don't mind.
I'm gonna give me a beaver.
And if you really think about it, going back to the history side of things, that's how the colonizers always did things. They went to the natives. Oh, scouted out. Oh, the natives have gold. They have food. Okay, where are they finding that? Oh, I'll ask them, and then completely wipe them off the map.
Sure.
To be able to get to that.
Well,
resource.
And by this point, even though I actually think that the people going out didn't have as harsh of feelings to the native population as some of the actual like full on colonizers, only because there were so many of them that were of Native American heritage. But by the 1820s, Native Americans didn't trust us white folk all that much for a very, very good reason.
If you think about it, the Trail of Tears, the expulsion of Native Americans to what was then known as the Indian Territory, was in the 1820s.
Yeah,
and so I'm not surprised that natives were like white men.
It was probably self-preservation.
Yeah, exactly.
And because of this, they realized they had to make some changes. They couldn't just go down to Missouri the way they are. So here you have Jedediah Smith and some others that then rediscovered the South Pass. South Pass, which I guess is the pass that ultimately leads to like the Great Basin, Oregon, California, and some of the other ones that they use quite a bit.
Still called the South Pass.
Is it?
Yep, it's in Wyoming. Dad uses it all the time.
Yeah, it's across the continental divide. It's beautiful. It's high.
But during the winter, it sucks.
It's big sky country.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
So there you go. When you get killed one place, you go somewhere else. I think that's a really good. If you die somewhere, you probably don't want to go there. Hence why I don't go outside.
There you go.
So
Has anyone died in your house?
Yeah, no one's died in my house yet.
Good job, Jake.
Thank you. So,
But imagine being the one to find that. See, and this goes back to like why I enjoy hunting. Imagine you're the person who finds the South Pass and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like I have done this. Like that's exciting to me. Like
I just think it's funny they call it the South Pass. No one
when
went,
it's literally
call
north.
it the Jedediah Smith. So we talked about a little bit with Danny's soon-to-be teenager. But can you imagine? You just see a job ad for this. Hey, we're looking for people to go to this undisclosed location we're not super familiar with for several years. What your first thoughts would be? Oh, maybe it's a cult.
Yeah,
seriously.
It's probably the majority of people are like, that's a cult. Or a very intense reality TV show.
And
I'm pretty sure, I wonder if Survivor is almost the...
I'll bring this up. This has been a huge trend, I would say, within the past 8 years. It's been huge. Sending door-to-door salesmen.
Oh, that's an interesting
him
thing.
A ton of money. First summer, hey, you're from Utah. We're going to send you to Maine. And I want you to knock every door in this radius. We'll pay you great.
Yeah, it's a promise of pay. They don't pay them great sometimes, but it's the promise.
It depends on how successful you are.
But then they send them out,
exactly
these people 18, 19, 20, early 20s.
So in other words, the mountain men were either the influencers of their day
or the salesman.
door-to-door salesman of their day.
Hey, I having been someone that opens the door to a door-to-door salesman and be like, no, and then close the door. I mean, I was the grizzly bear. So
that's so interesting. I honestly don't think that we would be capable of doing that. I think nowadays, instead of sending somebody to do, the quote unquote dirty work and making their own living, you have these billionaires who would just pay their way to capitalize.
I think that it's really hard for us to kind of adjust our minds to what was actually being asked of these mountain men because there is so little wild country left. This wasn't just like a plea for a job. This was a plea for a specific kind of person that they hope would survive out there. The people that were putting out this ad, I'm sure they didn't have any delusions about what they were asking these people to do. And so they wanted someone who was enterprising, who was young, who was teachable probably, who wasn't scared of a little hard work.
Yeah.
And so, they're focused. It's focused advertising, and it's kind of, it's what companies do nowadays when, they're looking for a specific kind of person. You're focusing your job search to a specific skill set.
Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but they didn't have cell phones back then.
What? Prove it.
Nope.
They didn't have anything. So
no, there's some pictures out there.
That means that the 5G wasn't giving them cancer.
Ooh.
Maybe, wait, no, but they died earlier.
Oh, that's a good point.
So the 5G was...
They didn't even have 3G. Do you guys
remember
when 3G came out? And it was like the best thing.
It was a beautiful thing. And then 3G LTE came out.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this is amazing.
I even remember, what was the E one? When E came out and everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing in the world.
I remember when Steve Jobs announced the iPhone.
Do you really?
Yeah. I remember because I
remember Steve Jobs.
It was 2005, I think is when it got announced, right? Or is it 2006?
I think it was later than that.
Because
it was like 2008.
iPod was out early.
Let's see.
The iPod had been out for a little bit, but I feel like...
Hold, please.
Maybe it's 2007.
Danny, you got your smartphone around then.
I got the first Google phone.
Up to that point, we had the BlackBerry.
Yeah, the BlackBerry, which was...
And then you had the stylus. Do you guys remember the stylus?
Yeah.
January 9th, 2007
It was 7,
when
okay.
the iPhone was released.
So I mean, but anyway, so back then they didn't have it. So they had to come up with some solutions, because here you have all of your employees spread out over thousands of miles. Like, how do you run a business? How do you get them all to come back together or whatever?
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's interesting is that they decided, specifically William Ashley, decided that they needed to have a rendezvous.
Yeah.
And so they came up with
Which they
the
still
rendezvous.
have.
Yeah.
They do.
They still have Mountain Men Rendezvous.
Well, what's interesting is I didn't realize this, and I don't know if this is just because, I'm in Utah, but Cache Valley and the shores of Bear Lake were very popular rendezvous points for the Mountain Men.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that either.
Because if you really think about it, if
I think
you look
Cache
at...
Valley, they still have the rendezvous
Yep.
up there, don't they?
They do.
Up
The
in
reason
Logan?
for it is if you look at the Rocky Mountains and the United States, that's center. It's pretty much the center point of
of the West,
Rocky
West
Mountains.
Coast.
Yep.
Interesting.
I always knew I liked Bear Lake for a reason.
Well, and I know that, we were just barely talking about it, but I also know that the South Pass is not that far away from Bear Lake. I mean,
no,
it's just-
absolutely not.
It's a couple 100 miles just north.
Yeah, Evanston is kind of the result of South
yeah,
Pass.
yeah, it's kind of.
Oh, is it really? So you guys know more about this. Nice. I guess one of the first main rendezvous was Henry's Fork of the Green River. I don't know where that is. Do you guys know where that is?
Of the what river?
The Green River?
Green River. Yep, Henry's Fork.
I don't, not off the top of my head.
Green River's more Colorado and southern Utah.
No, it goes up there.
Does it?
Yeah, because hold on. I'm going to find out exactly what
I
this
may
is.
be-
It's going to be something that we've all gone to like 1,000
Yeah,
times, and
exactly.
we're going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's what it's called, Henry Fork." Of course, we know what that is. Not Henry Ford. You. There's a person.
That's where he went to rendezvous. Henry Ford.
The Henry Fork of the Snake River.
I thought you said green.
It says Green River,
Oh, that's interesting.
but it could be the Snake River. There might be a confusion.
That would make sense if it was Snake, but
Green.
because like I said, I thought Green River was down south a little bit in Utah.
That's what I
Henry's
thought too.
Fork is a 61-mile long tributary of the Green River in Utah and Wyoming.
Oh, so
the
it is.
river flows into the Wyoming, and it becomes the Flaming Gorge Reservoir. So the Henry Fork is part
gotcha.
of Flaming Gorge.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
So here you have these rendezvous.
And isn't that interesting? That one, guess what's just north of Flaming Gorge?
What?
Fort Bridger.
Oh, you're right.
It's literally right
It's
there.
literally right there.
So Jim
Whoa.
Bridger.
Reasons. So he literally created his
Capitalized.
own rendezvous point.
Yep.
I think that's probably exactly what he did.
So what happens when you get a bunch of young men together that have been off gallivanting?
Prostitution.
Party.
Oh.
Corn whiskey.
Poor.
Saloon.
So James Beckworth described it as a time of mirth, games, and all sorts of extravagances. So which I think is really funny.
The word mirth.
Mirth.
It needs to make a comeback. I like
does.
mirth.
Mirth.
He's just so full of
He's
mirth.
full of mirth.
So they also, as Danny kind of talked about, they were fueled by free-flowing whiskey they called medicine water.
Someone get me my medicine.
You know what? I see it as this. Burning Man.
Okay, so let's get all of these things together. We got to just get it all. So the Mountain Men were the influencers of the day,
Yes.
or door-to-door salesmen.
Door salesman.
And the Mountain Man Rendezvous was Burning Man.
That's right.
Oh boy, we're making connections left and right, people.
Look at this.
We've gone down the rabbit hole
'Cause
on
you
this
think-
one.
What they do, you have all the hippies go out to their own countries, and then they drive out to the middle of frickin' nowhere.
Well, okay, it's going to get even weirder. You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
In Burning Man, there is no change of money. Did you guys know this?
Yeah, it's a barter system,
It's
isn't
a
it?
barter system,
Oh, really?
which is exactly what was happening.
So if I go with a
at the
toothpick,
no, literally.
Yeah, you barter up.
You create a system that you can trade for things and food and
go
everything.
find the people that are high on meth.
So rendezvous,
Or passed out.
the rendezvous was just a barter system.
This guy has a wallet full of $60. I'm just going to put the toothpick in here. Take this.
That's a good trade.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
You, your teeth need picking. So
Well, during these rendezvous is often where you would meet with old friends, but they would also swap stories. So I think often this is probably where a lot of your tales started getting spun. Tall tales potentially, and along with others, is you're probably trying to one up your friends. I got attacked by a grizzly. Well, I got attacked by 5.
Funny? I'm seeing a lot of parallels between cowboys a little bit later in the 18th century and these mountain men, because you had cowboy poetry that was basically the exactly same, where they would just rhyme and create these stories that they would pass on.
Well, and I think I love the idea. I love folklore. It is a passion of mine. I love reading about it. And I love the beginning of a folklore. I love the beginning of a good story. And it's just I can just imagine sitting by a fire. You've traded in all of your beaver pelts. You've got your whiskey. It's free flowing. You're surrounded by friends. You're surrounded by people who know the horrors of what you've just seen. You know, it's not a captive, or it's not a uncaptive audience. It's an audience that when you say that, oh, I had a problem with a beaver, they know exactly what you're talking about. And that's where you can just say a story. You can begin a story and just let it flow how it flows. Truth or not, fully fiction, fully fact, and all the people around you can nod their heads and know exactly the things that you're saying. I love that.
Like podcasters.
Well, I mean, really. I mean,
Sure.
we're not. Okay,
oh my gosh,
so
the
wait a
Mountain Men
minute.
are now podcasters.
They are influencer, door-to-door salesman podcasters. It's all
At
coming
Burning Man.
together.
Yeah, Burning Man.
Now, I wonder if they were influenced by Native American powwows, because that's very similar to what powwows are different tribes getting together. You pass the peace stick, and then you share stories. That's how they passed information.
Peace pipe, Josh.
Peace stick.
Wait.
Peace pipe.
Let's quickly.
Are you pregnant?
Let's quickly talk about that.
Peace stick.
I don't know if the Native Americans had a peace stick. I
Yes,
could be wrong.
Don't think
Pee here. No. Peace pipe. Peace pipe. But they would pass it around, and once they've had a little too many smokes, then you share stories.
Well, I think that, I mean,
I just see someone struggling to go potty, and some guy's like, "Go potty,
hurry up,
poke."
hurry up. Well, gentlemen, we've come to the end of our discussion of Mountain Men.
And we've scratched.
Did we
the
really?
surface.
We really have.
Son of a gun! I thought this was going to be like the quickest topic
Yeah, we
ever.
didn't even
but
get to like the actual.
we didn't even get past 1825.
Listen, that means that there will be a Mountain Man, a part
And
2.
like I said, if you think we should do it out where the Mountain Men did it, email us at emails@twaddling.
I mean, we're what, 3 hours away from Fort Bridger? How far are we from Fort Bridger?
yeah, I mean,
not
it's
that
only
far.
about an hour or two out of Evanston.
Yeah.
And Evanston's only about an hour and a half.
Let's see. Where's Fort Bridger?
Or Flaming Gorge. Let's go. Cache Valley. Why don't we go to Cache Valley where it's like an hour away?
We'll do the podcast in the parking lot of Fort Bridger.
You guys are going to need to give me some medicine water if you want me to be able to make that trip.
Okay, final
No, the
thoughts.
pea stick.
Joshua.
I think mountain men are very fascinating. Like I said, I was interested in them early when I was in elementary school. And yeah, sometimes they were a little bit renegade, but it's the, I don't know, the wild part of American history that I think is just fascinating. Same with cowboys, same with some other things that took place. It's just, they're interesting folk that, yes, their stories may be exaggerated, but what did they really go through?
Oh, yeah.
It's probably a story within itself. So
I love the outskirts of history, the edges of history. You know, it's always fun to talk about the kings, the queens, the governments, the politics, the policies, and everything like that. But I love those outside normal people kind of facts and stories and everything. And so for me, when you talk about a mountain man, that's what you talk about. You're talking about this era where men just threw caution to the wind and went to the wilderness to hunt for a buck-toothed animal, you know? And they did it for what they probably felt was a very good reason, even though it was just for the dandies back in England.
Yeah.
But it was still like the wildness of it. I love it. I love the stories of mountain men. And, you know, we'll have to actually talk about some of them. All right, Jake.
I have some crazy stories.
Finish us up.
Well, it's really interesting, as you said, that, you know, this kind of started as an expedite. It started as a journey. I'm going to say that, where they were seeking to, you know, go get these pelts. But from it, America really got so much knowledge of the landscape and of a variety of different things. And they ended up kind of being almost a godsend to future travelers, explorers,
100%.
and the pioneers themselves. I mean, the pioneers that went to Oregon, California, Utah.
The Mormon pioneers,
they were a big deal. Our ancestors were very much involved in that. And they all had just crazy things happen. I mean, yes, they had the tall tales, but then they had also things where, I mean, we could talk about Jedediah Smith. He got mauled by a bear, had part of his face ripped off, and so that someone had to sew it back on for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, just crazy things like that.
Or Hugh Glass, literally like crawling his way through the forest.
Hundreds of miles just to be able to reach back for revenge. He was motivated by revenge at that point. I'm going to kill them all. So, but I mean, you just look at it, they were just complex. They were not only explorers, but they were businessmen, they were survivors. They also were very inappropriate when you read through some of the stories.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So we'll
don't
have to go
dig too
over
deep.
that. So, but it's fun. It's one of those, again, it lasted 20 years, but you see it's had a lasting influence on history. And everyone we've talked about is somehow a mountain man. Influencer? Podcasters?
We're all mountain men.
We all are mountain men.
We're all mountain men.
I'm just the one that likes to stay inside.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us on this week's Twaddling Along, the Influencer Mountain Man edition.
Woohoo!
We are all mountain men. We are back, as always. Be on the lookout for all of our stuff that is happening. We should be on all of the podcast networks and or apps. If you don't find us on one of them, let me know. I know that there's a couple things that have kind of popped up lately where we've been kicked by one or two, but we are back on most everything. So
sorry, everyone. I get us kicked.
Joshua.
Does he really?
No.
No, it's mostly actually just kind of a technical error in the background that I'm still working my way through because I'm an amateur at this stuff. But we're getting there. If you have any ideas for future episodes, let us know. If you want us to continue talking about the mountain men and go into the specific stories, maybe tell us who your favorite mountain man is. That's always helpful. Emails at twaddlingalong.com, or always comment on our Facebook and Instagram stories and pages and posts. Anything from you guys?
If you, we are on YouTube, and so hit that subscribe button, comment, ring that bell. You know, hey bro, it's your boy Josh.
It's your boy Josh.
No, in all honesty, we thank you for viewing or listening to us. I'm sorry if your ears hurt afterwards because, you know, whatever.
We're a little loud. And us, Jake. Take us out.
I kind of want to see Josh have a boxing match with Grizzly.
Bring it on. If you want to see it, like, if we get to 10 billion likes, I'll fight a grizzly bear.
Let's make it a little bit more reasonable, Josh. 40 million.
40 million likes. No, let's do United States. 350 million. I will box a grizzly bear.
Better yet, if someone will pay us $2 billion
for Josh to fight a grizzly bear,
we will.
I am willing to make that sacrifice.
We will have Josh poke a bear with the pea stick.
Hey, guess what? I'd do it.
Have a good one, everyone.
Pea stick.